what we're discussing today, should AI be your copywriter? Now, where this came to mind was I was having this conversation with a colleague, and he does graphic design, web design, just kind of across the board, a lot of skills. And we were talking about copywriting, and he said, I know that my clients need copywriting badly, but what they tell me is we'll just use AI, right? And that's not a bad thing. I think that's a common answer. AI is changing everything, including marketing. But the question that we're posing today is, should it replace human copywriters?
Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. If you're frustrated by marketing and want to stand out from your competition, this is the show for you. Every week, we're discussing how to build a plan that attracts your best customers and aligns with your values. I'm your host, Ashley Conway, follower of Jesus, CEO of Be Weird Marketing, marketing coach, and copywriter. I promise to defeat the ick, yuck, and struggle bus feelings you may have about marketing with a few good stories and proven advice. So let's have fun and get to work.
Let's go about this. I'm not just going to give you my opinion. Let's look at this from a factual perspective. We're going to dig into what AI does well, its limitations, and then I'm going to demo, testing me, so to speak, demo AI copy versus copy I write, just so you can see the difference. So here we go. What AI does well. And let me be very honest, I am not anti-AI. I love ChatGPT. I am using ChatGPT at the minimum every other day to just help me speed up some of the things that I do. So what AI does well is it generates content so fast and at scale. It doesn't matter if you ask it to do one thing or you ask it to write 50 social media posts. It will do that for you very speedily. It's also great at brainstorming, getting you started with first drafts, outlines. I call it like busting through the blank canvas problem. When you're a writer like I am, and sometimes you sit there at just a blank white screen, it's hard to get those first words on the page. And my tip for writers is write badly at first, because at least then you'll be able to get started and go back and make it better. But anyways, AI helps break through that, because sometimes it can brainstorm, it can give us an outline, it can give us an introductory sentence, and then we're like, that's not exactly what I want, but we can jump back in and make it better, and it gets the ball rolling. My favorite thing for AI is that it simplifies research and pulls information together efficiently. So I love AI for research because I don't have to depend on Google and looking at different links and going to different sites and researching. That's the way we used to do it a few years ago, right? Not to mention the days of like encyclopedias, card catalogs, all of that. This is really, the digital world is so much easier. So it can search all of the sites at the same time and give you a group of research on whatever you're looking for. And you can also format that information in a way that works well for you. If it's in a table or whatever that might be, you can get that information like distilled into a way that is more user-friendly for you to refer to and use for whatever you're doing. It also is great at optimizing content for SEO, which makes sense, right? It's like bot to bot. SEO is all about those Google bots that troll your sites and look for keywords. Well, another bot, AI, is going to be excellent at knowing how to attract and keep your bot on your site, right? Okay, so now let's look AI where it fails, because it does. We can't believe that AI does everything 100% perfectly all the time. AI lacks consistency in brand voice. Let me give you an example. I have a client that I write SEO blog posts for, and I will write the post. And then because she has such a different brand voice than I do, hers is more whimsical. I put it into AI to say, make this sound more conversational and whimsical. So it uses words like, this space sparkles or drop your magic. And I don't talk like that and I don't write like that on a regular basis. So it does help me to change what I write into her brand voice. The problem is I have to ask it to do that every single time. If I want it to write an intro paragraph for her, I keep having to go back and say, this still isn't quite the brand voice. So it's not super consistent. I'm making sure that it's consistent, but I always have to remind it to get the exact output I want. I mean, it might be close the first time, but I want her brand voice to be consistent no matter whether it's an email that she's sending out or a blog post or whatever it is. I want it to sound just like her every single time. 2, it often sounds robotic or generic. I have seen this a lot with web page copy. Let's say you're having it give you copy for 3 pages. What I am seeing, and I review a lot of that because, again, I think AI is a great tool. So I review sites that have AI copy. But what I see is, oh my gosh, it is so repetitive. It is using the same phrases over and over and over again on every single page. And within a page, it may swap out a word here and there. So it's not exactly the same. It's smart enough not to do that. But it's still, you can tell it's just robotic. And that leads into the third one. It's poor at making emotional connections, at telling stories, at personalizing things, at really getting to the heart of the person that you're targeting. It can't do that because it's a robot, right? Now, okay, again, aging myself, but the Jetsons robot, was her name Rosie? She's who I think of sometimes when I think of all of this AI technology. Fantastic helper, but not as good at emotionally connecting with all of the Jetsons family, right? So that's another thing AI is missing. It also can't think strategically. It can't, if you ask it to write copy, it can't think about what's the trends. It can't think about what is your strategy now? Like what are the products that you're most wanting to direct people for? It can't think about where the reader is at in your customer journey process. It just doesn't know enough. It's it's an information gatherer, but it doesn't have human reasoning. So it can't think strategically. It can't test things. It doesn't have a knowledge that there needs to be something tested. So there really has to be somebody on the other side that is doing the strategic thinking for us. And it's not always accurate. So remember when I said on the last slide that it pulls from all of the internet, basically all the information out there to compile research. Well, the problem with that is there's also a lot of junk on the internet, right? Things that are not 100% accurate or they're incomplete. So we also have to have somebody like checking, is this actually factual, especially if you're going to use facts or statistics or anything like that to motivate the type of audience that needs those things, that is more of a logical decision maker. And so you need to add those facts and statistics and reasoning for them. Don't trust AI 100% on its own to always get that right. So let's continue. This is kind of fun. We're going to take a test, right? So first up is AI. This was the exact prompt I put into GPT, which is, I put this in, just so you know, I have a chat conversation that is set up to be in my brand voice. I've given it my products. I've given it information about my business. I've given it information about my audience. So it knows me. And then I added in there as the prompt, act like an experienced copywriter. So it'll kind of match who I am in the next slide, and craft body copy for an email, inviting my LinkedIn connections to my LinkedIn Live on using AI as your copywriter. And I asked them, limit it to 200 words, try to put some parameters on it. This is what the output is. Imagine having a copywriter on demand, one that never gets writer's block, works 24/7, and speeds up content creation. That's exactly what AI can do for your business, but only if you use it the right way. Join me live on LinkedIn as I break down how to use AI as your copy assistant without sacrificing creativity, personality, or strategy. What you'll learn: how AI can streamline your content creation process, the do's and don'ts of AI generated copy, how to blend AI efficiency with your unique brand voice, the best AI tools for copywriting and when to use them. Whether you're a marketer, entrepreneur, or business owner, this session will help you save time, boost productivity, and write better copy faster. So I would say that's a good try. But that's not really what we're talking about today. I'm not talking about the best tools for copywriting. I'm not talking about how to use AI as a copywriter. I'm talking about, should AI be your copywriter? So the message is a little bit different. I could have made that better by saying, these are the points I'm talking about, and it would have been a little more on point. So that all goes into the prompt matters. Okay, the other thing is, this feels a little generic to me just because these are not typically the things I would say. But it is generic that having AI as a copywriter, they're not going to get writer's block. They are going to work whenever you want. They are going to speed it up. That's all true. It's just generic information about AI copywriting. And I also wouldn't, and I'm surprised it put this in here, marketers are not really my target audience. Entrepreneur and business owner would be fine. I'm also surprised that it didn't include something about being values driven, which is a huge pillar of my business. That working with values driven business owners is really important to me. A heavy emphasis on Christian CEOs, and it didn't include that. Okay, so this session also is not going to help you save time, boost productivity, and write better copy faster. No, this session is going to teach you, or it's just going to give you some starters to think about how you should use AI for your copywriting and in your marketing. Okay, so we've seen what ChatGPT can do. Let's see what I can do. So a reminder, I've been doing this 20 years. And this is me also writing about my own business. As a CEO, every day, I have a packed to-do list, a full inbox, and never-ending thoughts about my business. Aside, like shower thoughts. Anybody else? I even have a notepad in my shower. If that's you too, then you're open to anything that will help you be more efficient and productive. So you are probably either currently using AI for marketing or considering it. The question you may not be asking is whether you should always use AI as your copywriter, or if you also need human support. Your answer to this question could be costing you leads. That is 100% true. We'll come back to it. That's why I'm discussing on my LinkedIn Live event. That's what I'm discussing on Thursday, March 13th at 10 a.m. Here's your chance to ask a copywriter and marketing expert with 20 plus years of experience all your questions about AI. Don't miss it. And that is the point of this portion that I put in blue. Like, I know as the human copywriter what to emphasize, because the question you're probably asking yourself, just like all of your target audience, is what's in it for me, right? And what's in it for you is, if you are someone who's coming here that's just using AI as your copywriter, no shame. But the question that you also need to ask is it okay to have AI as my exclusive copywriter? Or do I need an experienced strategic thinking human to also be a part of it? And based on how you answer that question, if you say AI is going to be my exclusive copywriter, that could be costing you leads. Okay. So that's the test of, you could see it's a little more personalized. For me, it's a little bit, there is more of a connection, because I'm saying, look, I have a packed to-do list, an inbox, all these thoughts, just like you do, right? And I'm also open to things that will help me to be more efficient and productive and get more of the things that matter done each day. And so who isn't using most of us are using AI, right? So it's more of a connection. I'm really digging in more on why you all should care. That's the bonus of having a human. So what does this mean for you? What should you do? If, you agree that the human copy is at least somewhat better, not to say AI copy was just junk. It wasn't, but my copy was just more personal. If you liked that, what are you supposed to do now? Here's a quote from ChatGPT itself when I was asking it for inputs. AI works best as a tool to enhance human efforts, not replace them. So very true. And that's the viewpoint that I have and that, I want to talk to you all about today. So my recommendation is to use AI as a junior copywriter. So I started my career in corporate as a communication specialist. I almost put on here for you all, communication specialist 1. And then I was promoted to 2, you can tell, corporate. So these were my tasks way back in the beginning. Write newsletter articles and brochure copy. Because in the early 2000s, we still did things in print. Researching topics for senior leadership. So there was something they would want to know about. I would gather all this information, prepare a presentation to go share with them. Write customer service scripts. I assisted with ad creation, like the brainstorming and then the language around it, but I was part of a team. And then I would pass my work to my marketing manager who reviewed my work. They gave me edits. So they gave me direction and input because I was so new and green. And they handled the higher level projects, the things that were more important, the things that were going to have more eyeballs on them, the things that were requested by senior leadership. They were handling those. So let's say that AI is going to be your junior copywriter. So let's go ahead and pretend this is a real position on your team. What you're going to do, just like when I was hired on in the beginning, is to designate a guide, a manager, someone who is experienced in marketing and in strategy to manage your AI team member. And I know a lot of you all may be trying to fill that role. If you're the CEO, you may be trying to fill it yourself. That may be okay if you have a marketing background. But if you don't, and marketing is not in your wheelhouse, it's not something you're uber familiar with. So, A/B testing different things and what metrics to track and how to change the strategy if you need to in the middle of a campaign. If that's not something that you're experienced in, it is something I would recommend getting help with because it does make a difference having somebody who knows that whole language and who knows the right strategic moves to make. I digress. Okay, so you designate this person, a manager, a guide, to manage your AI team member. Then you're going to define their role just like you would a regular job description. So ideal tasks that I kind of identified, researching content topics. So if you already know what your content pillars are, and we can talk more about that off this presentation. If you already have your pillars, the things that you want to talk about all the time, the categories, you can say to AI, this is my category. I need this many content ideas for a blog post around, in this area, ROI. I'm making up one. You can also have it create outlines for your long form content. This is a bonus tip. Start with your long form content, which is going to be a blog, a podcast, YouTube video. You start there. That is going to be the most personal, one of the most personal human things that you create because it's the longest. It's the chance for people to get to know you. You're establishing yourself as an expert in your industry. You do that piece. But AI can help create an outline for you. It can create an introductory paragraph to get you started, like I said, that you can edit and go from. So it can help you with those outlines. And then it can repurpose whatever your long form content is into emails and social posts and a million different other things. Even ads if you want, just depending. Helping you outline lead magnets, freebies. It's fantastic at writing social media captions and hashtags. I do this. I use my AI exclusively for this because the captions are less important to me than the actual image that they go with, the hashtags, all of that. Hashtags are all SEO driven, right? So I completely let AI do that. SEO optimization, we talked about this earlier. It's that bot to bot language. So keyword research, incorporating those into whatever your long form content is, perfect task for AI. Email and ad copy, other perfect tasks, or at least to get you started. And then yes, your guide, your manager goes back and edits that copy to make sure, is it in your brand voice? Is it personal? Is it going to resonate with your audience? Research. Oh, more research. Yes. On specific markets. Like if you have multiple locations, on new services you're thinking about, on trends, on competitors, on maybe niches, different niches of your audience. Does such a great job at research. I can't say enough. And then proofreading all your content. As much as I'm a copywriter, I'm not a copy editor. So I'm a much better writer than I am a proofreader, and I can pop it over to my AI and let him proofread that for me. It's also great at analyzing the performance of ads, emails, websites, that kind of thing. Data, it's very, very good at that. So those are just a few tasks as you're defining AI's role, that the types of things that it could do. The other thing that I wanted to share with you all is that this is kind of just a taste. We're just diving down and talking about AI, how to actually do that, how to use it, what prompts to give. You may want some assistance with that. I also want to give you, this is kind of a mini training. I have a much longer training, 40 minutes on 10 reasons you aren't standing out from your competition, because that's step one, right? You can't get, leads in, you can't make sales, you can't start building relationships with potential customers. The very first step is you have to get their attention. It's called awareness, right? In the marketing world. You have to do that by standing out, right? You have to be different than all the other people that are in your same industry. And there's several common reasons that companies don't do this. So check out this training. Like I said, 40-minute video training, absolutely free. 10 reasons you aren't standing out from your competition. You can get that at bit.ly/marketing standout.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.